K-Rugs, the sober dog, coming at you. Just put a video up last week about dating in recovery, the craziness of sober relationships. One thing that goes directly along with them is codependency. Now, I know it's not a sexy topic, it's not a crazy thing, but it's something so many addicts and alcoholics deal with in and out of recovery, and family members, friends of addicts and alcoholics. Are you somebody who's codependent on another? Just listen to me for a little bit, because we're going to talk about codependency, because a lot of people in and out of recovery, in and out of addiction, people that have nothing to do with addiction are codependent on others. Before I get started, thank you to everybody. Almost hit 500 subscribers. We're at like 480 something. Thank you. You guys are awesome. And if you're somebody watching the videos for the first time, hit that subscribe. Help me out. I would appreciate it. So let's get right into it. Codependency. This term is loosely thrown around to a lot of different, scenarios and people, and it's even kind of considered a mental health disorder. It's classified, in the DSM manual. What exactly is it? So, codependency is a person who basically their entire identity, or a large portion of it, is not based on their own self-esteem, their own worth, their own actions, their own whatever. It's based on somebody else's. You probably know somebody like this. You might even be this person, where your happiness is dictated on somebody else being happy. This happens a lot in like marriages and stuff. The wife, she's happy if the husband's happy. She's mad if the husband's mad, or vice versa. He's only happy if she's happy. He's only, his only kind of mission in life is, her needs and her happiness, and then, neglects themselves, this person, to an extent. Everything is based on outside people's actions and opinions and identity, and depending on what the outside people say, think, do, whatever, that reflects on them. This is something big for a lot of addicts and alcoholics. We, in our addiction, we are basically like babies to an extent. Our entire life is based on getting high. Finances go out the window. Self-care goes out the window. Any responsibility goes out the window. If you got kids, usually it's a disaster. Maybe you lost them. Maybe you don't have custody. So all these things are out the window. Our only mission is getting high. And we kind of depend on all these other people to do things for us. And we lose a lot of our self-esteem, we lose our self-worth, we lose respect from others, and it's just this whole kind of cycle. And then when we get into recovery, if we don't work on that self-esteem, a lot of people, we cling to a relationship, and we're so dependent on that other person. We let that other person, that relationship, become our new drug. I've had this happen to me. I know, I've seen this with other people. 2 months in recovery, they get in a relationship, and their entire world revolves around that other person, that boyfriend or that girlfriend. I think that's unbelievably unhealthy. When I'm 2 months sober, even 2 years sober, even 20 years sober, my sobriety has to come first. That sounds selfish, but it's not. Anything I put ahead of my sobriety, I'll lose. If I want to be the best boyfriend, the best son, the best uncle, the best anything, I have to put my sobriety first, and then I will be way better of an uncle, of a son, of a boyfriend, of a husband. If I put my sobriety second, I'm going to be a terrible husband, a terrible son, a terrible uncle, because I'll be out getting high and drinking all day, telling everyone to screw off. This happens a lot. That relationship I told you guys about in that past video that I put up last week, where this relationship started in active addiction. She was my drug dealer. That's how I met her. And then it went on during active addiction and ended during active addiction. We were so codependent on each other. I needed her for the drugs. When one of us was in a bad mood, the other was in a bad mood. When one was in a good mood, the other was in a good mood. When one had drugs, the other had drugs. We needed it. We wanted it. Everything revolved around the other. I had the money. She had the drugs. She needed me for the money. I needed her for this. And nothing worked without the other. And a lot of the individual symptoms of this, I'm going to read them off to you right now. Intense and unstable interpersonal relationships, inability to tolerate being alone, autophobia, chronic feelings of boredom and emptiness, subordinating one's own needs to those of the person with whom you're involved, overwhelming desire for acceptance and affection. That's a big one. That need for acceptance, I need this person to want me, to love me, to need me, or else I don't feel whole and complete. That shows a lack of self-esteem on my part if that's what's going on. Perfectionism, over-controlling, external referencing, dishonesty and denial, manipulation, lack of trust, low self-worth, victim mentality. All those are huge. I'm sure you maybe have either been there or have seen that. The boyfriend or girlfriend who, I come home and say, hey, where were you? Oh, I stopped off at McDonald's to get something. Oh, you stopped at McDonald's to see that pretty girl? Oh, you wanted to see that girl that works in the drive-thru? Just extreme low self-esteem. Everything needs to be kind of drama, revolved around this. And then if I'm in a bad mood, she gets in a bad mood. And then total chaos and drama. I hate it. But, I've been there. I'm not talking shit on people who are in the middle of this or go through it. The last part of this codependency I want to talk about is family members. Now, there's family members and friends who, some of the time the word can be martyr. There's other terms for it, but somebody who kind of their entire identity is based on taking care of or fixing this broken person. So, for example, when I'm in active addiction, this wasn't the case with my mother. I'm using this as an example. If I had a mother who her entire identity is the mother of the addict and everything is chaos and she just puts all of her own needs on hold to try to fix me, then what happens is I get sober and I'm starting to rebuild my life and things are going well. Her whole world and identity is gone and broken. For 15 years, her identity was, the mother of the chaos addict who tried to fix everything. All of a sudden, the chaos addict is doing well in recovery, trying to be, independent. And this person's identity is, what do? I don't have things to fix all day. I don't have a person coming home with drama and chaos all day. They're like lost because they set their whole identity on me or the addict, and now the addict is doing well, so they're just lost. That's a huge codependent person. I know a lot of people in like 12-step rooms who go through that type of stuff. Those are just some of the things on codependency. It's a huge ordeal. Oh, and by the way, that was not my mom at all. She did not do that. That was just an example. My mom was awesome. Both my parents were awesome during everything. When I say awesome, I mean did not sit there and enable me, and I think that was the best decision ever. But there's so many people who suffer and who deal with codependency, myself included, in different ways during addiction, after addiction. So it is a huge thing. I mean, it comes up at topics in rehabs, in 12-step meetings, in church groups, whatever. Every recovery-based program, codependency comes up all the time because it's huge. So that's just some of the things on codependency. I don't know what I'm doing with my fingers here. Gets right into the dating video I put up last week. Let me know what you think. Do you have someone in your family who's codependent? Somebody, maybe it's you, maybe you don't want to share a lot, share a little bit in the comments, but there's, I could go on for 20 more minutes. There's so many different relationships that could be codependent, are codependent, this way, that way. I just named a few, but let me know what you guys think. Thank you, everyone, for the support. K Ruggs, the Sober Dog. I'm out. See ya.